my unisex lifestyle family, I'm back with another video. God has given me a download to hurry up and jot down, so I quickly wrote this so I won't lose it. But God is saying that whatever he does in this season, he will do it exceedingly and abundantly above all we can ask for, think, or imagine. Just know that God can expedite anything to work in our favor. God is an on-time God, and he is a God that shall not lie, and he is a God that always delivers on his promises. God wants us to understand in this season that he wants us to continue to pray because he knows what we need, and he does not want us to forget about him when we receive these greater blessings. See, God is about to do big things in all of our lives, chosen ones. So he does not want you to forget the lessons. He does not want you to forget about him, to forget to pray through the good, the bad, and the ugly. He wants you to always be able to call on him for any and everything and put him in the forefront of any and everything that you have prayed for in this life. When you receive the things that you've been praying years about, he does not want you to forget about him, people. I want you to all also understand that God wants you to look at him with loving hearts and souls, because even when you thought he was quiet, he was working. Never be upset. Never scold him. Never be discouraged because you think he isn't doing what you want him to do when you want him to do it. Because God is always working out in our favor. He is always there for us. He is always saying, just know that, be still and know that I am God, and I am doing things that you have no clue how to do it yourself. So just know when you feel like God is quiet, that's when he's doing his greatest work, because you're not in the way of it. You're not doing things to make things go off plan. See, God wants you to know when you are inside of the waiting room, when it's quiet, the waiting room is quiet, people. He wants you to know when you are in a waiting room, it is quiet. You are waiting on your name to be called. So sit patiently and do not miss out on your blessings. Do not get antsy, and definitely do not go before God calls your name, because you're going to disrupt your timeline if you do that. I recently saw a video of this guy. He was in Africa, and he was a keyboardist for a church. And he was crying to his friend like, I'm sick of doing this work for free. God is supposed to bless me for constantly doing this work, but it's not coming to pass. I want to get paid for my keyboardist work. I don't want to continue to do work for free. He was becoming discouraged. And the friend just told him, just hold on just a little bit tighter. Just pray. Know that God sees your work, all the diligent work that you've been doing. He is not going to ever let anything just continue to go the way it has been going. He always gives you rewards for your due diligence. So the guy, he was like, no, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. And on the other side of him saying, I'm sick of this, the pastor received a call from this couple in America who was willing to fly out the keyboardist that they saw. That same man who is crying and doubting God. They were willing to fly him out to America, pay for his housing, pay him a good stipend, and pay him for his service to keyboard church every Sunday. But he was crying about doing free work in Africa, where he's from. So when the pastor called him, he was in the middle of discouraging. He was in the middle of basically talking down on the things that he'd been doing for God and his kingdom for free. And he missed that call. He did not answer the phone. He looked at the phone and said, pastor calling me again to work for free. And guess what? Pastor had to scrounge around and see what was another good keyboardist to get to this family in America to give them that blessing instead of the guy who was in line for that blessing. But he missed the call because he wanted to have so much doubt and talk and backbite and talk down on the things that God had him doing to prune him for this new season that he would have had going to America. But he missed that call because he was in the middle of talking down. He was in the middle of doubting. So the pastor ended up calling this other keyboardist. And the keyboardist came and he said, well, it was supposed to be for Mr. Smart. But Mr. Smart was too smart to answer the call. So are you willing to pack your things now immediately and go to America to become a keyboardist? And the guy was like, yes, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Are you serious? So somebody else ended up getting his blessing, Mr. Smart's blessing, all because Mr. Smart thought he was smarter than God. You see, God always will come through for you. Do not get weary in waiting. See, when you're in the waiting room, you're just waiting on your name to be called. The waiting may be long. The waiting may be stressful. The waiting may be a long wait, but God always comes through. See, do not disrupt your timeline with impatience. See, God, he will always come through. And this brings me to another scenario when I was in college. Just know God always can put anything together for your good. I was dealing with financial aid troubles to pay for my classes, and I was calling, and the lady, she acted like she didn't know what she could do to help me. But God told me to pray about the situation, so I prayed, and I ended up calling back up there about 2 days later, and another lady answered the phone. And she was so nice and so kind. And she was telling me, oh, it's a way around this. It's a way we can do this and do that to actually help you get your financial aid that you need for your classes. And I cried to God because it worked out in my favor once I got on my knees and prayed. And I called back up there after that one lady, we'll call her Miss Brenda. After Miss Brenda shifted everything in my favor, God put her in that place at the appointed time to help me out. God, once Miss Brenda shifted that, God gave it on her heart to shift things for my good. I called back up there about 2 days later because I just wanted to speak to Miss Brenda and thank her for her work that she did through, her God working through her to help me. Y'all, tell me why Miss Brenda was gone. Miss Brenda was nowhere to be found. They told me that Miss Brenda was a fill-in for Miss Janet. You see how God works? He will put somebody in that position just to help you. And once you got the help that God needed you to have, that person is disappeared. It was almost like an angel was there at that one point in time to help me, to get my financial aid situated. So just know that God can make a position that did not exist in a job just so that you can be in that company. God will make you satiable, meaning he will satisfy all your needs and desires. God is able to meet all of your needs. I woke up this morning saying satiable, satiable, satiable. I'm like, God, why did I wake up, kept saying satiable? But God is saying in this hour, he is about to meet all of our needs and desires. God will never leave nor forsake his children. God is about to do exceedingly and abundantly, you guys. Continue to just pray. Continue to not let the doubt creep in, because the devil can never win. The devil has already been defeated. So do not let him come and try to deter you from what God has already told you. God can put anything together for your good. God can do anything where we think it's not even possible. God is omnipotent. God is all powerful. He can do anything if you just continue to trust and wait on the Lord. I love you all, and continue to be encouraged in faith and in prayer. God is ready to deliver the promises he has promised us and you guys, and me. So I love you guys, Unisex Lifestyle. Continue to know we're all for one and one for all. I don't push nobody away. If they want to learn about God, if they want to learn about spirituality, this channel is for you. It's for all. I love you, and stay encouraged. Thank you.